Jungkook freezes as Jimin does the unthinkable in his own home. What unfolds leaves everyone questioning everything they believed. "You're out of your mind, Jimin. Do you even hear yourself?" Jungkook's voice cracked with a mix of disbelief and fury, the words slicing through the tense air. Jimin didn't flinch. "No, Jungkook, I've been quiet for too long. Tonight, you're going to hear everything. No more hiding, no more pretending." "What exactly are you accusing me of now?" Jungkook demanded, leaning forward. "You think you can just walk in here in my house and drop bombs without explaining yourself? You want an explanation?" Jimin's tone rose, sharp and unyielding. "Fine. You lied to me. You lied to everyone. And for what? To protect your image? To keep the perfect Jungkook illusion alive? That's rich coming from you," Jungkook shot back. "You've been guarding your own secrets like your life depends on it. Don't act like you're some moral hero here." Jimin's eyes narrowed, but his voice was steady. "My secrets never destroyed someone else's trust. Yours did." "Trust?" Jungkook's laugh was bitter. "Do you want to talk about trust? How about the way you went behind my back to meet with people you swore you'd never talk to again? That was different," Jimin snapped. "I did that to protect you, something you clearly don't understand." "Protect me?" Jungkook's tone turned razor sharp. "By betraying me? By making decisions about my life without even asking me? You don't get to stand here and pretend you're some kind of savior." "I'm not pretending." Jimin's voice boomed now, echoing off the walls. "I'm the reason your career didn't crash months ago. I'm the one who took the hit when things went wrong. And you," his voice caught for the first time, though his stance didn't falter, "you thanked me by erasing me from the truth." Jungkook's reply was ice. "You're not a victim, Jimin. You chose to involve yourself. Don't rewrite history just because it's convenient now." "Convenient?" Jimin stepped closer. "Do you even know what it cost me to keep your name clean? The calls I ignored? The offers I turned down? The deals I ruined because I thought protecting you was worth more than my own career? Then why bring it up now?" Jungkook demanded. "If you did it for me, why are you throwing it in my face?" "Because you crossed the line," Jimin said, voice low and dangerous. "You brought someone into your life who should never have been here. And now, everything is going to fall apart because you didn't listen." Jungkook's jaw tightened. "You mean her? You still can't let that go, can you?" "I can't let it go because she's the reason everything we built together is rotting from the inside," Jimin replied. "You think you know her, but you don't. And when the truth comes out, you'll wish you'd listened to me." "Stop talking like you have all the answers," Jungkook shot back. "If you know something, just say it instead of playing this cryptic game." Jimin's expression didn't change, but his voice dropped to a tone that made the room feel smaller. "Fine. She's been meeting with people who want to tear you down. People who have been waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and you've given them every opening they need." "That's a lie," Jungkook said immediately, though his voice lacked conviction. "Is it?" Jimin challenged. "Or do you just not want to believe it because it means admitting you made a mistake?" Silence hung for a moment, heavy with unspoken truths. Jungkook finally spoke, quieter but no less firm. "Even if you're right, you had no right to go digging through my life like that." "I had every right," Jimin countered. "Because when you're my friend, when you're my brother, I'm not going to sit back and watch you self-destruct just to protect your pride." "Maybe I don't need your protection," Jungkook said coldly. "And maybe," Jimin replied, voice cracking just enough to betray the weight of his words, "I can't keep giving it if it means losing myself in the process." The two stood there, words still burning in the space between them, the truth now exposed and impossible to take back. Whatever came next would change everything. "Open the door, Jungkook. We're not done," Jimin said, steady, unblinking in his resolve. "We were done the second you accused me of bringing the enemy into my life," Jungkook replied. "You think I don't know what loyalty is? You think I haven't bled for it? You bled for the wrong people," Jimin said. "And I'm about to prove it. But I need you to stop defending a lie and start listening." "I'm listening," Jungkook said. "All I hear is you dancing around the truth like it's a bomb you don't want to admit you planted." "It's worse than a bomb," Jimin answered. "It's a fuse that's already burning. The only reason you haven't felt it is because I've been stomping it out before it reached you." "That's a nice story," Jungkook said. "Hero Jimin saves me from myself. You think I should clap?" "Don't clap," Jimin said. "Just answer me this. Did you tell her about the signing meeting? The one last Tuesday, 2 hours before it happened?" Jungkook hesitated. That's not your business. It's every bit my business if she told a third party, Jimin said. Because 2 hours after you shared that, a rival camp tried to undercut your terms with a coincidental leak. I spent the whole night making calls, taking the blame for things I didn't do, and pretending I was the one who slipped. I did it so your name would stay out of it. What proof do you have? Jungkook demanded. If you're going to burn my life down in my own home, at least light the match honestly. I have a chain of messages, Jimin said. From her to a handler. The same handler who's been courting everyone who hates that you're clean. Messages? Jungkook scoffed. Show me. No, Jimin said. I'm not handing your house keys to the person prying them out of your pocket. I'll read them. And you're going to tell me if it's her wording. Read, Jungkook said, arms tight at his sides. He's in. He thinks it was his idea. Tuesday confirmed. The new terms are soft. If it leaks, he'll blame his team. Let me lead the conversation. He always lets me in first, Jimin recited. That could be anyone, Jungkook said, though his voice thinned. Generic, vague. Next, Jimin continued. He said he trusts me because I know what he looks like when he's lying to himself. He never looks up when he's scared he's about to disappoint people. He rubs the side of the table when he wants to avoid saying no. Jungkook stilled. You think you're the only one who knows my habits? You think she doesn't see me? She sees you, Jimin said. But she doesn't protect you. She maps you so she can turn you. You don't know her, Jungkook snapped. You don't know what we talk about at 3 a.m. You don't know why I trust her. Then tell me why, Jimin said. Say it out loud. Say the reason you've thrown out every boundary you used to have. Jungkook fired back instantly. Because she doesn't treat me like a trophy. Because she asks for the parts of me that aren't glittering. Because she's the first person who didn't beg me to be a machine. And in return, Jimin said quietly, what does she ask you to destroy? She doesn't ask for that, Jungkook said. She tells me to be honest. Then be honest now, Jimin said. Why did she know about that Tuesday when only 5 people knew? Why did the leak match the meeting time down to the minute? Why did the rival camp reach out to tabloids you've never even breathed near? You're connecting dots that don't exist, Jungkook said. You're jealous. Jealous? Jimin repeated. Of what? The quiet way you started shutting the door on everyone who would take a punch for you? The way you've started talking like a stranger in a language I can't recognize? Stop acting like a guardian, Jungkook said. You don't get to choose who I love. I'm not choosing for you, Jimin said. I'm trying to save your life from a slow bleed. She saved mine already, Jungkook said. You weren't there when I almost called it quits. I know, Jimin cut in. You don't, Jungkook said harsher. You were too busy pretending everything was fine. I know, Jimin repeated, firmer, because I got the call from an unknown number. We can help him if you help us. Do you understand why I didn't tell you? Because if I did, and you called back, you were theirs. Jungkook's breath hitched. What did they want? To bury a past favor, Jimin said. To use your crisis as the rope they'd tie around your neck later. I told them to go to hell. Then I told them to talk to me instead. They did. I ate their lies for weeks. I lied to your face when I said I was just tired. I was exhausted from wrestling sharks with my bare hands. Then why not tell me? Jungkook demanded. Why keep me blind? Because you were fragile, Jimin said. Because the wrong word would have tipped you into the dark. Because you would have believed the first voice that offered peace. And they were banking on that. And you think she's one of them? Jungkook said low. I think she was their door, Jimin said. Maybe she didn't mean to be at first. Maybe she thought she could handle them. But somewhere between the first meeting and now, she traded her compass for a contract. You're talking about someone I care about like she's a loaded gun, Jungkook said. She is if she's pointing you at yourself, Jimin said. And I won't watch you pull the trigger. Jungkook's hands tightened at nothing. You walked into my house and decided to break it. I walked in, Jimin said, and decided to stop pretending we're safe. What else do you have? Jungkook asked, brittle. Don't just read lines. Tell me something that can't be guessed. She knows your mother's tea schedule, Jimin said. And I won't watch you pull the trigger. Jungkook's hands tightened at nothing. You walked into my house and decided to break it. I walked in, Jimin said, and decided to stop pretending we're safe. What else do you have? Jungkook asked, brittle. Don't just read lines. Tell me something that can't be guessed. She knows your mother's tea schedule, Jimin said. She knows your manager's middle name because she uses it to make fake familiarity. She knows you lower your voice when you're ashamed. She told someone, he'll agree if you give him a way to say it was for someone else. Tell him it will save a friend. He cannot resist saving a friend. Silence fell for a beat that felt like a verdict. Why would she say that? Jungkook asked. But the question had no teeth. Because you saved me once, Jimin said. Because you went without sleep and without applause to keep me from shattering. She learned your blueprint from the way you loved. She learned your weakness from the way you stayed. You don't get to turn my love into a flaw, Jungkook said. I'm not, Jimin said. I'm asking you to aim it at the people who won't weaponize it. So what now? Jungkook asked. You stand here and sermon me into dumping her? You expect me to flip a switch and erase every late night, every confession, every promise? No, Jimin said. I expect you to hear one more thing before you decide. What now? I asked her to come, Jimin said. She's outside. Jungkook's pulse jerked. You brought her here? She agreed, Jimin said. Said she wanted to clear the air. I told her the air only clears when lies stop breathing. You set me up, Jungkook said. I set the truth up, Jimin replied. It's on you whether it stands. This is my home, Jungkook said, and I want it to still feel like yours tomorrow, Jimin said. Let her in. Ask your questions. Or yours, Jungkook said. You seem to have a thesis. I have 3, Jimin said. 1 for each way she's been turning you. The door swung and footsteps crossed the threshold. There was a pause. Then her voice, calm and contained. I heard most of that, she said. Jimin, you always had a flair for theater. This isn't theater, Jimin said. It's triage. Jungkook, she continued, softer now. Why didn't you call me in before he did this to you? He didn't do anything to me, Jungkook said. He asked questions. And accused me, she said. I asked for proof, Jungkook said. He has messages. Her tone tightened. Then read them. But read everything, not just what makes me look like a witch. Let's start with Tuesday, Jimin said. Who did you tell about the meeting? No one, she said. I was in your living room when you left. I tidied up and went home. Jimin's reply was immediate. At 4:17 p.m., you texted a number ending in 38. He's leaving. 2 hours. It's happening. I never texted that, she said. Show me. I'm not handing my phone to you, Jimin said. But we can call the number right now. Call, she said. Jungkook looked between them. We're doing this now? Now, Jimin said. Before anyone can script it. Put it on speaker, she said. Let's end his fantasy. Jimin dialed. The line clicked. A man answered with a friendly, practiced warmth that didn't fit anything. Hello? Hi, Jimin said. I found this number in a thread involving someone we both know. Wrong number, the man said smoothly. But while I have you, would you be interested in an investment opportunity? Cut it, Jimin said. We both know why you're calling people and pretending you don't know their names. The man stayed breezy. Sir, I'm afraid you have the wrong idea. Who are you? Jungkook asked, leaning toward the speaker. Just someone trying to make a living, the man said. From what? Jimin asked. Turning personal schedules into press collateral? Good night, the man said, and the line went dead. That proves nothing, she said. It proves he's real, Jimin replied. Now explain why your number is in that thread. Anyone can spoof a number, she said. Ask your tech team. Ask your manager. My manager didn't know Tuesday, Jungkook said. She went quiet, weighing her next move. When she spoke again, her tone changed. Fine. Someone might have reached out to me, she said. I didn't go looking. They promised they'd fix a story that was about to come out about you. They said they had your best interests at heart. I took the call. How many calls? Jimin asked. A few. How many? 5, she said, then corrected herself. 7. And what did they give you in return? Jimin asked. Money? Promises? A seat at the table when they served him? They told me they'd stop something ugly from dropping, she said. I panicked. I didn't want him to be hurt again. I did it for him. You did it to him, Jimin said. Don't twist this, she said. Ask him how many times he's been vulnerable lately. Ask him how desperate he was for someone to be on his side without asking for a receipt. I was, Jungkook said. Desperate. And I stood in the gap, she said. Even if I used the wrong bridge. Where did the money go? Jimin asked, a surgical question. What money? She said. The 40 wired to a shell account, Jimin said. The one that paid a freelance PR fixer who just happens to be the same person who spreads rumors to generate a need for fixing. Let me guess. They asked you to pledge to ensure their loyalty. Her answer came slow, almost resigned. I wanted a guarantee. You bought yourself a leash, Jimin said. I bought him time, she said. I bought him space to breathe. You bought a door into his life and propped it open, Jimin said. And you let them walk through. She turned to Jungkook. Do you think I wanted to hurt you? I watched you fall apart. I'd have done anything to stop it. Even if it meant giving strangers a map of my day, Jungkook asked. Even if it meant feeding them my habits, my tells, the things I never wanted anyone to weaponize, I thought it was the only way, she said. They said if I didn't help them understand you, they'd make up things worse than the truth. And you believe them? Jimin said. That's how they work. They don't need to be right. They just need to sound like they care. She faced him head on. And what were you doing? Playing saint? You called them. You engaged. You think you're clean because you kept him out of it, but you dove in with the sharks and came out with their scent on you. I never traded him, Jimin said. I traded my reputation. You can have it. Stop, Jungkook said. Both of you. I'm not a prize you get for bleeding the most. Then take yourself back, Jimin said. Walk out of their maze. She exhaled, deflated but still defiant. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'll block numbers. I'll return money. I'll apologize. I'll stand in front of any camera that tries to catch you, and I'll take the hit. No, Jungkook said. Don't promise me bigger sacrifices to cover the wrong ones. I'm done living on the currency of penance. So what does that mean? She asked, voice thin. It means you leave my choices alone, Jungkook said. If you want to be with me, you don't get to barter with my life. If you want to help me, you ask before you hand out pieces of me to people who don't deserve me. I made a mistake, she said. Several. You made a decision, Jimin corrected. And you kept making it. She turned to Jungkook again. Then I need a decision back. Are you ending this? Right here, in your living room, with him watching? Jungkook looked at Jimin, then at her. His voice was steady when he spoke. No, he said. I'm ending something else. I'm ending the version of me that excuses harm because it wears concern. I'm ending the habit of believing people love me when they love the control they get from the story of saving me. That's not fair, she said. It's not supposed to be fair, Jungkook said. It's supposed to be true. I know you thought you were helping. I know you were scared of what they do. But I can't build a future on the foundation of your fear. So it's over, she said, hollow. It's paused, Jungkook said. Indefinitely. Until I know you can choose me without choosing them. She swallowed the bitterness of it, then nodded once, a small surrender. I'll fix what I can. I'll send you everything. Every name. Every request. Every dollar. Send it to my lawyer, Jungkook said. And then disappear from this part of my life for a while. Not because I hate you. Because I need to hear myself again. She looked at Jimin. You got what you wanted. Congratulations. You won. This wasn't a game, Jimin said. If it was, none of us would feel like this. She turned and left without argument. The exit quiet. The space she'd occupied suddenly stripped of its gravity. Jungkook stared at the door, speaking into the space where she had been. I thought she'd be different. She could still be, Jimin said. But not with strings attached to strangers. Jungkook breathed in. If you had told me earlier, would I have believed you? No, Jimin said. You would have defended her harder. You would have defended the idea of her even harder than that. I hate that you're right, Jungkook said. I hate that I had to be, Jimin said. They stood in uneasy quiet. Then Jungkook turned, his voice shifting from defense to something more raw. What did they have on me? He asked. The ugly thing. Nothing that could break you, Jimin said. A collage of old pictures cut to look like a pattern that never existed. A rumor pasted onto a coincidence. They were building a ghost to herd you. You handled it? Jungkook asked. I spent every favor I had, Jimin said. I burned bridges I won't get back. I told people I'd never work with them again if they entertained the pitch. Why? Jungkook asked. Why would you do that if you were this angry with me? Because anger isn't the opposite of love, Jimin said. Apathy is. I was never apathetic about you. You should have let me fight, Jungkook said. You were already fighting yourself, Jimin said. I wasn't going to put a second opponent in the ring. Jungkook let out a humorless sound. You always think I'm 2 punches from collapse. I think you're stronger than anyone knows, Jimin said, including you. But strength isn't invincibility. Say what you're scared of, Jungkook said. No scripts, no hero talk. I'm scared of waking up one morning and realizing your kindness has been mined to exhaustion, Jimin said. I'm scared of watching you hand over the last good piece of yourself to someone who smiles while they pocket it. I'm scared you'll choose silence over asking for help because you think help is a debt you can't repay. Help isn't a debt, Jungkook said, echoing words he'd given to others. Then let me be what you are for everyone else, Jimin said. Let me be the net. Jungkook nodded once. Fine. Then be honest with me now. Did you ever go behind my back out of pride? Not protection. Pride. Yes, Jimin said without dressing it. Sometimes. I thought I knew better. I thought I could fix what you wouldn't let me touch. And sometimes I enjoyed being the one who solved it. That's on me. I can forgive honest selfishness, Jungkook said. I can't forgive manipulative mercy. Me either, Jimin said softly, which is why I asked her here. I don't know if I'm more angry at her or at myself, Jungkook said. Both, Jimin said. Use it. For what? Jungkook asked. To rebuild your rules, Jimin said. Not the old ones. New ones. Ones that make it so the next person who wants a map has to ask for permission instead of stealing your coordinates. And you? Jungkook asked. What are your rules? I don't make moves with your name on them without your consent, Jimin said. Even if I think it's the only way, even if it costs you something to say no. And when I say no, Jungkook asked, then I accept it, Jimin said. And sit with you in the consequence instead of trying to drag you away from it. Jungkook sank into stillness, then spoke with a clarity he hadn't allowed earlier. I need distance, not from you, from the machinery, from every voice that uses concern to justify control. I'll clear the schedule, Jimin said. I'll take the heat. You're not my shield anymore, Jungkook said. You're my friend. That has to be enough. It is, Jimin said. It always was. And one more thing, Jungkook added. Don't hate her for what she did. I won't forgive it right now. But I won't rewrite the parts where she held me together when I was falling apart. I don't hate her, Jimin said. I hate the system that taught her that love is a ledger. Jungkook lifted his phone and typed quickly. I'm sending a message to the team. New rules. New gates. No more meetings without a second pair of eyes I choose. No more updates sent to anyone who isn't under our roof. No more soft maybes that can be spun into yes. If they want my time, they go through the filter we build. Good, Jimin said. And one more for the list. If anyone ever says, we're here to save you, ask what they're holding behind their back. Noted, Jungkook said. You really think I can come back from this? I don't think you left, Jimin said. You just handed the wheel to someone else for a while. Jungkook let the words settle, then stood. I'm not going to break. Not tonight. You weren't going to, Jimin said. You just needed a reason to remember. Then give me one, Jungkook said. All right, Jimin replied. Here's one. You taught me that being good doesn't mean being quiet. You taught me that asking for help is courageous, not weak. You taught me that if the price of calm is yourself, it's too expensive. So take your lessons back. Use them on you. Jungkook breathed out, tension uncurling just enough to allow resolve to pour in. I'm setting the record. No more untraceable favors. No more anonymous guardian angels. If someone wants to help me, they have to show their face and sign their name. And if they won't, Jimin asked, they don't get access, Jungkook said, to my time, to my plans, to me. Good, Jimin said. Then we start there. They moved through the next hour with a kind of focused calm. Names were noted. Paths were cut. Numbers were blocked. Not because anger demanded it, but because clarity did. When they finished, the room felt different. Not lighter, not brighter, but honest. Jungkook glanced toward the doorway where she had stood and spoke quietly into the empty frame. If you really loved me, prove it by leaving my edges intact. Jimin heard him, but he didn't press. He just stood close enough to be counted without crowding the moment. I'm going to write a statement, Jungkook said. Not a sob story, not a crusade, just a line in the sand. Make it your voice, Jimin said. Make it something you can live by, even when no one is watching. I will, Jungkook said. And if they hate me for it, fine. I'd rather be hated for the truth than loved for my ability to be controlled. He typed. He deleted. He typed again. Finally, he read aloud, steady as a promise. I won't trade my peace for access, my boundaries for praise, or my friends for applause. If you care about me, you won't ask me to. Jimin nodded once. That's the one. Jungkook sent it to the team with a simple instruction. Publish when ready, no edits. Then he set his phone face down and looked at Jimin with a gratitude that didn't need to be dressed up. Thank you, he said. You don't owe me that, Jimin replied. I know, Jungkook said. That's why it counts. Rest, Jimin said. I will, Jungkook answered. But first, I'm going to call my mother and tell her that I'm okay. No PR filter, no noise, just me. Do it, Jimin said. And tomorrow we build the new gates. Tomorrow, Jungkook echoed. Not to keep everyone out, but to make sure the right people walk in. They stayed there a little longer, not to wallow, but to mark the line they had drawn. There was nothing cinematic about it, nothing that begged for applause. It was two people choosing what mattered and throwing away what didn't. It was ugly and clean at the same time. When the night finally settled into something manageable, Jungkook stood, rolled his shoulders, and said one last thing that didn't need an answer. I'm not afraid of being alone with myself anymore. Jimin nodded. Then you're not alone. They turned off the noise that wasn't needed. They let the rest of it wait. And in the quiet that followed, there was no cliff to hang from, just ground they had reclaimed, solid enough to stand on without shaking. Don't publish anything else without me reading it first, Jungkook said into the phone. No teasers, no emojis, no sources say. If something leaks, I want to know who leaked it and why they still have a job. The voice on the line tried to placate him. We're aligning on your statement. We just thought, stop thinking for me. Jungkook cut in. Route it through my lawyer and Jimin. That's it. He hung up and stared at the blank notes page for a moment, then put the phone down, unwilling to chase a feeling with more words. Jimin waited, letting the silence be a gate rather than a void. Say something I won't like, Jungkook said finally. Get it over with. I already did, Jimin replied. But if you want more, here it is. The statement isn't the end, it's the beginning. People who want access will test your new rules just to see who you are without the old ones. What do I do when they push? Stand, Jimin said. And if you wobble, say it out loud. I'll hold you steady, not hold you back. Jungkook nodded, then reached for his phone again, thumb hovering above a name he hadn't dialed in weeks. I'm calling the manager. Not to beg, to reset. Put him on speaker, Jimin said. I'll keep quiet unless you ask. The line clicked. A voice came through, slick with practiced calm. Jungkook, I saw your draft. We're proud of you. It's brave. I don't need you to be proud, Jungkook said. I need you to follow the rules I just wrote. A beat. Of course, we're on your side. Then answer a question. Who knew about Tuesday? Everyone relevant, the manager said. We had to coordinate transportation and security. Names, Jungkook said. Not euphemisms. The manager hesitated, then listed them. Most were predictable. One wasn't. He said it casually, burying it in the middle like it was nothing. Stop, Jungkook said. Repeat the last one. Why? The manager asked, suddenly cautious. It was just... Repeat it, Jungkook said. The manager did. Jimin's eyes flicked down to the note he'd made earlier. Same name. Same problem. Why did she have it? Jungkook asked. She doesn't work on negotiations. She does brand partnerships, external only. She was in the building, the manager said. She asked to sit in. We thought it would be good cross-team visibility. And what did she do with it? Nothing, the manager said quickly. We don't think is the most dangerous sentence you say, Jungkook replied. From now on, we don't think means we didn't check. Stop not checking, the manager bristled. We're not the enemy. Then stop carrying the enemy's water, Jungkook said. I'm not firing you. I'm not firing anyone tonight. But if this happens again, I'm not going to ask for explanations. I'll ask for an exit plan. The manager exhaled, a little rattled. Understood. One more thing, Jungkook said. If anyone calls offering to fix something by asking me to trade something else, hang up and send their number to legal. Don't escalate to me. I won't reward blackmail in a better suit. Understood, the manager repeated. Good, Jungkook said, and ended the call. That felt right. He added more to himself than to Jimin. It was, Jimin said. Not perfect, not pretty, but right. A buzz on the table. A text from an unknown number. Cute. Statement. Who wrote it for you? Need help making it sound less like a cry for help? Jungkook's jaw tightened, but he didn't let the message hook him. He forwarded it to legal and blocked the number. Then another text came in from a different unknown. We can get the Tuesday story buried permanently. Price is friendship. He tossed the phone to the couch like it was just a device again. They're not even subtle. They don't have to be, Jimin said. They think you're starving for calm. I'm not, Jungkook said. I'm hungry for honesty. Different diet. Good, Jimin answered. Eat. There was a knock. Not at the door on the phone screen. A recorded message notification. He pressed play because he refused to be led by dread anymore. Her voice filled the room, steadier than he expected. I'm not going to try to talk you out of what you said. I'm just going to say this. I was scared, and I let my fear make me useful to people who wanted to own you. If you need me to vanish, I will. If you need me to fix anything, tell me what to do. Not grand gestures, steps. I'll do them. No press, no spin, just repair. He saved the message, not to romanticize it, to remember what repair sounded like without flowers attached. Jimin's phone lit up next. He ignored it. It lit again. He turned it face down. It vibrated across the table for a second, then fell still. You're avoiding something, Jungkook said. I'm prioritizing you, Jimin said. That wasn't my question, Jungkook replied. Jimin sighed. My label wants a call. They heard you're tightening the gates. They want to know if that includes us. What do you want me to say? Jungkook asked. Say the thing you're scared will make me look bad, Jimin said. Jungkook didn't hesitate. I want you to stop taking hits for me that burn your bridges. I want you to stop being my crisis manager. I want you to be my friend who says, no, that's not my job, and means it. Done, Jimin said. But there's a catch. I knew it, Jungkook said, wry. The catch is that you have to tell me when you're slipping, Jimin said. Before the cliff, not after the fall. I can do that, Jungkook said. I choose that. He moved to the kitchen, not for theatrics, but to anchor his thoughts with something ordinary. He poured water, drank, and set the glass aside. His phone buzzed again. This time, the name on the screen made his chest jolt. He answered fast. Mom? Her voice came, worried and warm. I saw your message. Are you okay? I am, he said. Not perfect, not even close, but I'm okay. I'm making rules. I like rules, she said. Especially the kind that keep you whole. Then you'll like these, he said. I'll show you tomorrow. Bring Jimin, she said. I'll cook. You two can fight in my living room where I can cut in if you say something foolish. Jimin tilted his head, listening with a small, private smile he didn't show off. I hear you, he called softly, knowing she'd catch it. She laughed. I hear you both. Come over. No cameras, no visitors, just us. We will, Jungkook said. Thanks, Mom. After the call, the room found a steadier rhythm. For a while, there was nothing dramatic, just two men sorting through contacts and commitments and carving pathways that didn't invite strangers inside them. Then the noise outside found them anyway, as it always did. Trending lists, insiders' threads, a commentator with a familiar cadence declaring that Jungkook was imploding, that a friend was dragging him into drama, that there was a woman who had bewitched him, that the manager was corrupt, that the label was panicking. One long string of guesses dressed as revelations. I hate this part, Jungkook said. Me too, Jimin said. Let's change it. How? Stop feeding it, Jimin said. Don't like, don't subtweet, don't blink. That feels like losing, Jungkook said. It's winning, Jimin said, because the game they chose only works if you play. The buzz escalated, then plateaued. The world spun. The world calmed. That was its habit. He couldn't control it, but he could starve it. His phone rang again, this time with a contact he respected too much to ignore. A senior artist, older, seasoned, who'd seen careers made and unmade by access masquerading as care. "You good?" the veteran asked. "No fluff. Better than this morning," Jungkook said. "You meant that line about not trading peace for access," the veteran said. "It landed." "I meant it," Jungkook said. "I have to." "Good," the veteran said. "Then take this for free. People will call you selfish. Let them. Selfish is what manipulators call boundaries." Jungkook's throat tightened. "Thank you. One more thing," the veteran said. "Your friend, the loud one, he's right more often than he's wrong. Keep him." "I plan to," Jungkook said. After the call, Jimin arched a brow. "The loud one? I'm offended for you," Jungkook said. "You're very medium loud." "I'm strategically audible," Jimin said, deadpan. They laughed, softly, the way relief laughs when it's still wearing bruises. Then the front gate intercom crackled. A voice introduced herself with awkward politeness. The brand partnerships coordinator, the one who'd sat in on Tuesday. "She's here?" Jungkook said, surprised. "I didn't call her," Jimin said. "She probably came to apologize before the tide turned," Jungkook said. "Let her in." They met her by the entry. She kept her words tight and spare. "I overstepped. I thought transparency was helpful. It wasn't my place." "Why did you ask to be there?" Jungkook said. "Curiosity," she said. "And ambition. And because someone told me I should make myself indispensable. I mistook proximity for value." "Who told you that?" Jimin asked. "A mentor I don't admire as much as I used to," she said. "I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I will say this. The culture feeds prying. People don't need to be evil to be useful to it. They just need to be hungry." "What do you want?" Jungkook asked. "Not in general. Here, I want to own my part," she said, "and ask for a chance to earn back trust by doing my actual job correctly instead of pretending every room needs me." "What would that look like?" Jimin asked. "Stewarding opportunities," she said. "Not stealing information. Building campaigns when you approve them. Not inserting myself into negotiations to feel important. I can do that. I just forgot what important is." Jungkook measured the simplicity of her words. "Okay, then start like this. Write a memo to your team. We do not attend meetings we are not invited to. We do not share information across departments without consent. We measure our value by the quality of our work, not by the closeness to power. If they have a problem with it, send them to me." She blinked at the directness, then nodded. "You'll get the draft tonight." "One more thing," Jimin said. "Don't spin this into a story about how enlightened you are now. Just be it." "I won't," she said, and left without reaching for a hug she hadn't earned. "That felt clean," Jungkook said. "Because it wasn't a performance," Jimin said. "It was a correction." Night crept around them, not to smother, but to give the day a border. They worked a little more. They paused a little longer. Eventually, Jungkook spoke a thought that had been pacing quietly in the back of his mind. "What if I go live?" he asked. "Not long, not dramatic, just me. So people hear my voice unfiltered." Jimin tilted his head. "You sure?" "No," Jungkook said. "And that's why I should. Fear doesn't get to hold the mic anymore." He set up the stream with minimal fuss. No countdown, no heart explosion graphics. Just a notification, a camera, and a man who had decided to come home to himself. "Hi," he said, when the number of viewers jumped from dozens to tens of thousands in a blink. "I'll be brief." The comments raced, but he didn't read them. He didn't need them to steer. "I wrote a line today that I want to live by. I won't trade my peace for access, my boundaries for praise, or my friends for applause. If you care about me, you won't ask me to. That's where I am. If you were hoping for a spectacle, I don't have one. If you were hoping for blood, I don't bleed on command. If you were hoping for honesty, I always have that." He paused, not for effect, but to breathe, like a human does. "I'm grateful for people who show up without trying to own me. I'm grateful for friends who tell me hard truths without selling them to the highest bidder. I'm grateful for the chance to say no and mean it. That's all. Take care of yourselves. I'm learning to take care of me." He ended the live, not because the numbers dropped, but because the point had been made and lingering would have turned it into content rather than conviction. Jimin looked at him. That was surgical. "I didn't want to feed the machine," Jungkook said. "Just wanted to mark the boundary." "Consider it marked," Jimin said. The phone lit up again, this time with something different. A flood of DMs from people Jungkook didn't know who were nevertheless earnest in their gratitude. Not pity, not patronizing. Mostly versions of thank you for saying no. It gave him a steadier footing than praise ever had. Then came a message from her again. No pleading. Just a screenshot of an email addressed to legal and the manager listing every name, every amount, every call, every file, every lie, every favor, every pledge, every fix. At the bottom, one sentence. I am available to answer questions. I will not contact him directly again. Jungkook showed it to Jimin. This is the only chance I'm giving, he said quietly. Not to come back. To be decent. It's enough, Jimin said. Decency is a revolution in some circles. The night thinned. Fatigue settled, not as defeat, but as permission to rest. Jungkook moved to the doorway and looked at the home he'd almost let become a stage and decided it would be a sanctuary instead. Jimin gathered his jacket. I'm going to give you space. Stay, Jungkook said. Not to hover. Just stay. Okay, Jimin said, and set the jacket down again. They didn't rehash the fight, or the ethics, or the drafts. They sat, not saying much, not needing to. It wasn't awkward. It was accurate. At some point, Jungkook's phone buzzed again. He checked it, then turned it face down without reading. You're not going to look? Jimin asked. If it's important, Jungkook said. It'll still be important tomorrow. If it's urgent, it can wait 15 minutes while I remember I'm a person. That's a good rule, Jimin said. They let the minutes pass, not wasting them, filling them. When the clock edged forward, Jungkook stood and made one last call for the night. This time to legal. I have a list, he said. It's ugly. I want to do the right thing with it, not the loud thing. Protect the people who were exploited. Expose the people who were exploiting. No scorched earth, no victory laps, just light. The lawyer, who had always preferred clean lines to messy headlines, said, Good, that's the path that lasts. He hung up and turned to Jimin with a clarity that didn't require thunder to announce itself. I'm done negotiating with my own instinct, he said. It's on my side. I know, Jimin said. I've been waiting for it to catch up with you. Jungkook smiled, a small one, the kind you don't put in a frame. Come by tomorrow. We'll eat, argue, and write rules on paper like teenagers who think words can save the world. Sometimes they can, Jimin said. When we live them, then we will, Jungkook answered. He turned off the lights they didn't need. He left on the one he did. Not a spotlight, a lamp. Enough to see, enough to rest, enough to wake up and know the room was still his. Don't come tomorrow, the manager texted at 6 a.m. There's chatter outside the office, cameras, questions we didn't invite. Jungkook called immediately. Who invited them? No one, the manager said. But someone fed them. Find out who, Jungkook said. Quietly. I'm not performing a meltdown for people who brought their own script. Jimin was already up. We're not hiding, he said. We're redirecting. Go to your mom's. We'll do the reset where the rules started. They drove without discussing routes or optics. No entourage, no convoy, just two phones pinging with the sound of people who wanted to turn their day into a live show and two men who didn't. His mother, practical as a checklist, opened the door before they knocked. You both look like you forgot sleep is free, she said. Come in, sit, and fight politely. If you can't do politely, you can wash dishes while you yell. We'll keep it human, Jungkook said. Good, she answered. That's what lasts. They sat at her table, the place that didn't care about the size of their names. She poured tea without fanfare and nodded toward a stack of blank paper. Rules. Write them. Say them. Live them. Jimin picked up a pen. First rule, he said. No one monetizes a crisis that doesn't belong to them. Second, Jungkook added. No decisions about my calendar without my consent. Not my brand, not my presence, not my availability. Me. Third, his mother said, surprisingly sharp. If anyone ever uses the phrase, for your own good, while asking you to hide something, you walk away. Jungkook wrote them down. The list grew. Not to be dramatic, to be accountable. He kept the language plain, so he wouldn't forget what he meant when the world tried to dress it up. Halfway through the third page, his phone rang. A number he knew too well to ignore. It's me, she said. I sent everything to legal and the manager. All of it. If you need more, I'll find more. If you need me to testify, I'll testify. If you need me to disappear, I'll disappear. I saw the files, Jungkook said. They're detailed. I wanted to be beyond doubt, she said. I can't fix what I did, but I can stop lying to myself about what it was. You're not calling to apologize again, are you? He asked. Because I can't keep bleeding from that wound. We're past apology. We're in the what now stage. Then what now is this? She said. They're going to shift. If they can't reach you through me, they'll try your team. If they can't get your team, they'll try your family. They always find a door. I don't want to be the alarm clock, but I'm ringing it anyway. We're building locks, Jungkook said. And I'm picking who gets a key. Pick Jimin, she said. Even when he annoys you. Jimin heard it through the speaker and huffed a sound that wasn't quite a laugh. I'm consistent, he said. That's my talent. I know, she said, then softened. I'll go now. You don't owe me anything. Not a response. Not forgiveness. Not closure. I'll stand where I'm told until the court needs me. Stand where you choose, Jungkook said. I'm not telling you to hide anymore. Just don't stand on my story to reach your next step. I won't, she said. And the line went quiet in a way that finally felt honest. His mother tapped the table lightly. Eat, she said. Then keep writing. Your body and your boundaries both need fuel. They ate because she told them to, and because stopping for ordinary things mattered. When they reached for the pens again, Jimin's phone rang. He didn't recognize the number but answered anyway, jaw set for trouble. Is this Jimin? A man asked, voice too casual. Depends who's asking, Jimin said. Old friend, the man answered, with new options. You handled our little misunderstanding poorly last night. Feelings were hurt. People were embarrassed. But we're generous. We like talent. We're willing to offer a clean slate. Translation? Jimin said. Bring him to the table, the man said. Privately, off the record, no lawyers. We craft a narrative that satisfies all parties. He keeps his halo. We keep our contacts. You keep your pride. Jimin didn't bother with politeness. He doesn't need a halo. He needs a spine. He found it. Offer rescinded. You're emotional, the man said smoothly. Emotion is expensive in our business. Let us save you. Jungkook took the phone. Hear me, he said. I'm not indebted to your idea of safety. I'm not a problem to be solved at your price. If you call me or anyone on my team again, you'll speak to counsel, not to us. If you call my mother, I will spend whatever it costs to make sure you never work in my orbit again. Careful, the man said. You're not untouchable. Correct, Jungkook said. I'm accountable. That's what makes me dangerous to people who hate daylight. He hung up and typed a message to legal. Same number, same threat, same playbook. The reply came quick. Recorded, documented, flagged. Proceed with our plan. His mother pushed another page forward. Fourth rule, she said. When someone tells you their love requires secrecy, ask them why it can't survive honesty. Jimin added one of his own. If anyone says, trust me, but don't verify, the answer is no. The doorbell rang. Not press, not fans. His senior choreographer, a person who knew what it meant to critique without hating. She sat without fuss. I came to say something simple, she said. You don't owe the public the story of your growth while you're still growing it. You owe yourself the privacy to change without commentary. Tell that to the feeds, Jimin muttered. I don't talk to feeds, she replied. I talk to people. You. Listen, we have rehearsals next week. If you need to cancel, cancel. If you need to come and sweat your thoughts into the floor, come. If you need to show up and do scales until your brain stops shouting, do scales. I'll work with the version of you who arrives. I won't sell the version that headlines imagine. That's rare. Jungkook said. No, she corrected. It's our job when we remember who it's for. The intercom cracked again. This time, the brand partnerships coordinator sent a brief update. Memo drafted, team aligned, one dissenting voice already moving departments voluntarily. I'll send you weekly reports, she added. Not to prove I'm reformed, to keep the structure honest. Send them to the manager, Jungkook said. I'll read when I need to. Jimin's phone lit with a different name, his label. He answered without dread. Yes? A senior executive spoke plainly. We heard rumors that you're telling us to keep our hands off him. I'm telling everyone that. Jimin said. Including me. Noted, the exec replied. For what it's worth, we're adjusting our own processes. Too much crosstalk. Too many people in rooms they don't need. We got sloppy. Clean it, Jimin said. And don't turn it into a press release about your new integrity. Just do it. Agreed, the exec said, and ended the call without add-ons. They wrote more rules. They scrapped 2 that sounded noble but weren't practical. They edited language that could be twisted. They made a 4th page. A 5th. Not because quantity mattered, but because the habit did. His mother collected them into a folder and slid it into a drawer. This is not a monument, she said. It's a living thing. Update it, burn it, rewrite it. Just don't forget it exists. There was a knock on the back door. Not many people used that door unless they belonged. Min, the veteran who'd called last night, stepped in with a question shaped like a challenge. You serious about that line? I am, Jungkook said. Then prove it right now, Min said. A publicist messaged me this morning. Offered to sell me a story about you. Said they had receipts. I told them to eat them. They pivoted and asked if I wanted in on a coordinated redemption arc. That's the new phrase. You want me to leak our next rehearsal date so they can stage a comeback sighting? Or you want to keep your spine? I want to keep the spine, Jungkook said. If there's a camera when I walk in somewhere, it's because they came without an invitation, not because we laid a red carpet. Good, Min said. I'll send you the screenshots. Use them as kindling for whatever bonfire you're building. Not a bonfire, Jungkook said. A light switch, Min snorted. Same glow, less smoke. Fine. Keep it boring, kid. Boring is how you outlive storms. When Min left, Jimin tilted his head at Jungkook. You really okay with losing the rush? No more quick salvation stories? I'm done buying forgiveness on credit, Jungkook said. If I need a rush, I'll run. They made another round of calls. Apologies where they were due. Firm no's where they weren't. A text arrived from a number that might have been a cousin or a neighbor, or an opportunist pretending to be either, let me speak on your behalf. I can set the record straight. I won't charge, just credit me when it works. Jungkook typed 2 words. No thanks. He didn't justify them. He didn't explain his policy. He just applied it. By afternoon, the temperature outside the bubble had shifted. Not cooler, not calmer, just different. The machine realized it wasn't going to get a dramatic scene and tried to recalibrate. Sources say the star is focused on self-care. Insiders insist there's no bad blood. Friends claim everyone's moving on. None of it right, none of it wrong, all of it noise. Let them narrate nothing, Jimin said. It's weirdly satisfying. It is, Jungkook agreed, because for once, we're not performing for their lines. The phone rang again. Legal. We received the full document record, the lawyer said. We're initiating the process. Quietly. You'll get updates at intervals you choose. Do you want us to coordinate with PR? No, Jungkook said. Coordinate with me. If this turns into a circus, we stop feeding it. If it turns into a courtroom, we show up. Otherwise, we live. Understood, the lawyer said. Also, there's an offer from a journalist with a reputation for integrity. Long form, no spin. You control the final draft or you walk. Jungkook glanced at Jimin, then at his mother. He weighed the difference between honesty and exhibition. Later, he said. After the work. Not as the work. Wise, the lawyer said, and ended the call. A few minutes later, the intercom crackled again. A neighbor, sheepish. Sorry to bother you, she said. There are 3 cars outside taking pictures of your gate. I told them to leave. They laughed. Do you want me to call someone? We'll handle it, his mother said. Thank you for telling us. Jimin lifted his phone. Manager. Security. Not drama. Just ask them to enforce trespassing laws if they cross the line. No confrontation, no commentary. On it, the manager said. Less performative than yesterday. More grounded. By early evening, the day had a shape. It wasn't heroic. It wasn't tragic. It was work, chosen, and done. The phone pinged again this time, a message from the brand coordinator. Memo implemented. Compliance at 100% so far. Dissent addressed. Questions logged. No leaks detected. She included one line that mattered more than the metrics. I'm not chasing proximity today. It feels good. Keep that line, Jimin said when he read it. It's the cure for half our sickness. Jungkook nodded, then turned to his mother. We did enough? You did human? She said. That's more than enough. Jungkook glanced at Jimin. Walk? Jimin shrugged. We said no theatrics. But walking isn't theater. They stepped outside through the side path. The public rarely noticed. They didn't narrate the step. They didn't plan the next quote. They talked about exactly what needed saying. I want you to be in the room when I face her in a deposition, Jungkook said. Not to coach me, to witness me. I'll be there, Jimin said, not as your sword, as your mirror. And if I flinch, Jungkook said, tell me. Then tell me again. And don't let the echo turn into shame. I don't do shame, Jimin said. It doesn't make anything stronger. It only makes people smaller. Good, Jungkook said. Because I'm not shrinking to make others comfortable anymore. They returned before the world could decide that their walk had meaning beyond two people needing air that didn't belong to the internet. Back inside, his mother handed them a small stack of envelopes. What's this? Jungkook asked. Thank yous. You wrote when you were younger, she said. You said you never wanted to lose the habit. Read them. Remind yourself who you were before people decided you belonged to them. He did. The words were simple, honest in that unpolished way that warned of no performance. He folded them back and put them in his pocket. Still me, he said. Always, she answered. Night approached in a way that didn't ask to be described. Jimin checked his calendar. Rehearsal next week, he said. You coming? Yes, Jungkook said. Not to prove anything. To do my work. Same, Jimin said. And if anyone asks for a quote, I'll give them nothing. Give them this, Jungkook said. Tell them the story isn't theirs. That's still nothing to them, Jimin said. Good, Jungkook replied. Then we're learning. His phone buzzed one last time. A number from the agency that had tried to buy his crisis. He didn't answer. He sent the number to legal, blocked it, and wrote a quiet line in his notes. Silence is not surrender. Sometimes it's sovereignty. He looked around his mother's kitchen, at the ordinary proof that life existed without cameras and scripts, at Jimin jotting a final reminder to himself, at the folder in the drawer that would get updated and worn. He breathed in, not because it was cinematic, but because he needed oxygen like everyone else. I'm going to bed without reading a single think piece about me, he said. Revolutionary behavior, Jimin teased. Join the revolution, Jungkook said. Already enlisted, Jimin replied. Put me on a three-way with legal and the manager right now, Jungkook said, pacing only because the call wouldn't start without movement. We're not waiting for the next leak to introduce itself. Jimin tapped the screen, patched in the lawyer, then the manager. We're live, he said. No small talk. Legal spoke first, crisp and measured. We've traced part of the Tuesday leak to a burner that bounces through two marketing firms and a strategic communications boutique. The boutique's owner is a former junior at your label's PR arm. The manager jumped in, defensive without meaning to be. We did an internal audit. Nobody on our payroll pushed it, I swear. Nobody pushed it from a company phone. Legal corrected. Different sentence. Names, Jungkook said. Then steps. No opinions. Legal listed them. The boutique owner. A fixer tied to the earlier pledges. A junior contractor with surprising access to senior calendars. Then a name that stopped the conversation cold. Jimin spoke first. Say that again. Legal repeated it. A mid-level executive at the label. The one who smiled in every backstage photo. The one who called everyone family when budgets were being slashed. The one who said transparency was a brand pillar. The manager groaned. I knew it. He's always in rooms he doesn't need. Jungkook didn't groan. He didn't sigh. Get him on a call, he said. Now, do you want me to prep a script? The manager asked. No, Jungkook said. I want the truth to meet us without a costume. 30 seconds later, the exec's voice arrived, syrupy and smooth. Jungkook, is this a surprise party? You never call me this early. This is not a party, Jungkook said. Why were you in the Tuesday room? Cross, functional alignment, the exec answered brightly. We're breaking silos. Very 2025. What did you do with the information you gathered? Jungkook asked. Used it to serve you, the exec replied. Always you. Define serve, Jimin said. Ensure the narrative matched the strategy, the exec said, as if reading from an internal mantra. That stakeholders were inoculated against surprises. That we were proactive, not reactive. By telling a boutique fixer what time I'd be vulnerable? Jungkook asked. The exec laughed lightly. Vulnerable? Come on, you're a machine. I'm a person, Jungkook said. And I told you yesterday that the new rule is simple. If your work touches my life, it touches it with my consent. Rules are good for press releases, the exec said. They're less useful in the wild. Then get out of the wild, Jimin said flatly. You're not a ranger. You're a leak. The exec's tone hardened. Careful, Jimin. You throw elbows. One day someone might throw back. Jungkook cut in. Not today. Today you're going to answer a yes or no question. Did you share Tuesday's details outside the people in that room? A beat. We share context all the time. Yes or no? Jungkook said. Yes, the exec said, suddenly impatient. We share because that's how grown-up organizations function. You want a monastery? Join one. Great, Jungkook said, unblinking. Then here's how a grown-up consequence functions. Effective immediately, you are removed from any calendar that includes my name. If you request access, the answer is no. If you show up to a room with my work on the table, the meeting ends. If you speak about me on behalf of the label without documented authorization, legal will be in touch. That's not a tantrum. That's a boundary.